It's midnight and you're tuning in to Nightline with me, Nurin Razmyn. The top stories. Government to continue focusing on governance issues to ensure aid reaches target groups. And Op Global, more arrests expected as investigations now encompasses 10 laws. Good morning. The Madani government will continue to focus on addressing governance issues to ensure that assistance for the country's poor reaches its target group. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim stated that poverty persists due to leakages that prevent funds from reaching their intended beneficiaries. According to Anwar, the government spent 22 billion ringgit annually on poverty eradication efforts, and if this amount is managed effectively, it could solve the country's poverty problem. However, it is disheartening that leakages continue to occur within the various agencies established to assist and implement poverty eradication programs.
Apa yang kurang di Malaysia? Saya sebut pemasaran, farmer. Ikan, dulu maju ikan, sekarang lembaga kemajuan ikan. Peladang, pertubuhan peladang dan lembaga pertubuhan peladang. Apa lagi? Sebut saja masalah, ada agensi. Tapi apakah agensi itu diurus dan dilaksanakan acaranya, programnya dengan telus dan bertanggungjawab? Sebahagian ya, sebagainya tidak.
Anwar said this in his speech at the 100 Years of Zabat Poverty Thinker Seminar at University Pendidikan Sultan Idris UPSI in Tanjung Malim, Perak on Saturday. He emphasized that the issue of poverty must be tackled through multidimensional efforts. It cannot be focused solely on the implementation of projects or programs, but must also take into account various aspects on the issue, including the root causes of poverty, capital ownership and distortions in the marketing systems, such as exploitation by middlemen, which must be urgently addressed. Meanwhile, Anwar called on the public, especially the youth, to continue supporting the government in its fight against corruption and abuse of power. The Prime Minister said that to this day, his firm stance against corruption and abuse of power continues to be criticized by some quarters. Despite this, the government remains resolute and will not tolerate anyone who has siphoned off billions of ringgits from its coffers, whether it was in the past or recently.
Ini masih juga dijadikan alasan politik. Oh, kesian. Dia lama dulu berjasa. Semua orang berjasa. Ketua kampung berjasa. Penghulu berjasa. Tok imam berjasa. Tapi apakah dengan berjasa itu dia curi duit masjid? Tak boleh. Dan mengapa seorang menteri kewangan kalau kerana fikirkan dia ada jasa, maka dia boleh curi berbilion ringgit?
Anwar stated that the Madani government will address the issue of inflation in the 2025 budget, which will be tabled on October 18th. He said that while the prices of goods such as edible oil, petrol and flour are relatively cheaper in Malaysia compared to regional peers, there is still a need to focus on improving income levels. In an interview with CNBC, Anwar emphasized that the government must prioritize the welfare of its own workers before it can persuade private sector conglomerates to raise income levels for their employees. He noted that companies reporting profits between 1 billion ringgit and 4 billion ringgit cannot justify paying inadequate wages to their workers. The Prime Minister added that there should be some pressure to increase income levels as low wages contribute significantly to ongoing concerns about rising prices. Previously, the Department of Statistics Malaysia (DOSM) reported that Malaysia's inflation rate in August this year moderated to 1.9% year-on-year, slightly below expectations. Prior to this, Anwar had announced a 15% increase for civil servants in the implementing management and professional groups and a 7% increase for those in top management. The adjustments will be implemented in phases beginning on December 1st for Phase 1 and January 1st, 2026 for Phase 2. This is the first salary adjustment in 12 years and is a timely response to current economic conditions. He also urged the private sector to follow the government's example by increasing wages. Anwar also told CNBC that the government is steadfast in achieving its gradual fiscal consolidation target by reducing national debt, while continuing to invest in improving the quality of life for all Malaysians. He further stated that the Madani government has inherited a debt of 1.5 trillion ringgit, with the annual fiscal deficit reduced to 5% of gross domestic product (GDP) in 2023, down from 5.6% in the previous year. Elsewhere, Anwar reminded Muslims in the country of the importance of understanding the meaning and necessity of unity. The Prime Minister stated that they must avoid confusion and prevent divisions that could provide a platform for enemies to attack, insult and conquer, as evidenced by the crisis in West Asia.
Kita mulakan dengan memupuk semangat perpaduan yang kental di kalangan kita. Menjamin supaya ada persefahaman dan perdamaian di antara umat Islam dan bukan Islam di negara kita. Kerana itu menjadi prasyarat bagi kita membangunkan ekonomi yang kita sebut mampan.
Anwar said this in his speech at the opening of the 64th International Quran Recitation and Memorization Assembly at the World Trade Center in Kuala Lumpur on Saturday night. He also reiterated the call for Muslims to explore new fields as it would determine their strength now and in the future. The event, themed Al-Falah Pemacu Malaysia Madani, involved 92 participants from 71 countries, comprising 53 recitation contestants and 39 memorization participants. Home Minister Datuk Seri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail does not rule out the possibility of further arrests involving followers of Global Equine Service and Business Holdings (GISBH). This follows an expansion of the scope of investigations by law enforcement agencies under the ministry, now encompassing 10 laws, up from 4 at the start of the probe. Saifuddin stated that the comprehensive probe into GISBH covers multiple legal aspects, resulting in a fluctuating number of arrests as each investigation uncovers new findings. He also pointed out that police investigations are separate from those conducted by the Department of Islamic Development Malaysia JAKIM and state religious authorities. Presently, the probe is being carried out under 10 different laws, including the Penal Code, Child Act, Sexual Offences Against Children Act, Societies Act, Anti-Trafficking in Persons and Anti-Smuggling of Migrants Act, as well as the Birth and Death Registration Act.
Soal siasat ke atas penjaga, ke atas pimpinan Global Ikhwan ataupun ke atas anak-anak ini, ya, siasatan ini sangat komprehensif. Dia melibatkan pasukan polis, dia melibatkan pasukan kaunselor, dia melibatkan psikologis, dia banyak.
Saifuddin said this to the media after the Home Ministry's Meet the People program and the National Registration Department's 76th anniversary celebration in Bandar Baru, Kedah on Saturday. He added that the police have reported a total of 625 individuals have been arrested in connection with the case to date. GISBH has been in the spotlight for alleged criminal acts, including child abuse, sexual abuse, exploitation, human trafficking, and deviant Islamic teachings. Last month, police raided 20 of its welfare homes in Selangor and Negeri Sembilan and rescued 402 children, with investigations revealing at least 13 cases of sodomy. Meanwhile, Pahang has become the latest state after Perlis and Selangor to declare GISBH along with its followers and employees as deviant. This comes after Pahang ruler Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah consented to the fatwa by the state's Syarat Consultative Committee made during its meeting last Wednesday. In a statement on Saturday, Pahang Mufti Dato' Asmadi Muhammad Naim said that those who continue to believe in and practice the Awrat Muhammadiyah propagated by the Al-Arkam movement are misguided and deviant. The fatwa also covers those who believe that Al-Arkam founder Ash'ari Muhammad, who died in 2010, did not die but disappeared. He added that this decision applies to all versions, forms, and branches of the teachings, including any belief systems, ideologies, philosophies, or groups that have existed or may emerge in the future. Asmadi further said that the economic system developed by GISBH was also not recognized as Islamic and does not comply with Sharia principles. He also called on the authorities, including the police, the welfare department, and state religious agencies, to work together to rehabilitate and monitor GISBH followers. On Thursday, Selangor declared GISBH as deviant after the Sultan of Selangor, Sultan Sharifuddin Idris Shah, assented to the State Fatwa Committee's decision on September 30th. Earlier in the same month, Perlis Mufti Datuk Muhammad Asri Zainul Abidin also declared that GISBH promoted deviant beliefs and operated businesses in an un-Islamic manner. The government is working to expand the network of cancer centres in Malaysia. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Fadillah Yusof said the 2 new centres will be established as part of this initiative, namely the Northern Region Cancer Centre in Kedah and the Sarawak Cancer Centre in Kota Samarahan, Sarawak.
Dengan ada institut ini maknanya kita tak nak penyakit lebih banyak, tapi lebih kepada untuk kita mencegah supaya saringan awal dapat dilaksanakan. Dengan saringan awal itu kita dapat mengelakkan daripada berlaku keadaan yang lebih mudarat lagi kepada rakyat kita.
Fadillah said this during his speech at the opening of the Pink October Carnival 2024, organised by the National Cancer Institute (IKN) in Putrajaya on Saturday. He added that this is a significant step towards ensuring that quality cancer treatment is accessible to the public regardless of geographical location. He also stated that resources will continue to be allocated to enhance research, treatment facilities, and cancer prevention programs, considering the burdens faced by patients and their families. Fadillah also emphasized the importance of strengthening efforts to increase public awareness on cancer, as well as promote prevention and early diagnosis. Meanwhile, speaking to the media at the same event, Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad said the number of oncologists in Malaysia is expected to increase to 400 by 2040, up from the current 175. He added that this target can be achieved with Malaysia's participation in the Fellowship of the Royal College of Radiologists (FRCR) in clinical oncology.
Jadi itu mereka telah mengangkat kita IKN sebagai pusat untuk menjalankan Part 1 exam for FRCS radiology. Ya, ini adalah satu yang amat membanggakan supaya kita terus menjadikan the Center of Excellence IKN ini sangat bermakna.
Dr. Zulkifli also noted that the number of cancer cases detected at stages 3 and 4 increased to 65.1% between 2017 and 2021, compared to 63.7% from 2012 to 2016. He stated that this trend is very concerning because the survival rate is significantly lower when cancer is detected late. According to the latest National Cancer Registry report, colorectal cancer or cancer of the large intestine is the leading cause of death among men, while breast cancer is the primary cause of death among women. Earlier, the carnival received recognition from the Malaysia Book of Records for creating the largest pink ribbon formation with 2,050 participants, symbolizing a unified commitment to the fight against cancer. Youths need to be given more opportunities and trust to lead organizations, thereby driving the sustainable development agenda of the country. Titi Wangsa Member of Parliament, Datuk Seri Johari Abdul Ghani, said that this approach would simultaneously provide them with the space to hone their leadership skills and gain experience at a younger age.
Untuk lead 30, you pertama kena dapat pengalaman dengan dalam belia. Kalau lepas habis universiti baru you nak belajar, nak cari kerja, nak settle down, by the time you sampai umur 30 jadi leader, lepas tu next year dah tak boleh. So saya punya pemikiran is that mungkin daripada 40 kita turun 35 and then the next penurunan will be 30. Jadi kita ada masa untuk adjust dan pada ketika itu beliau ni lebih bersedia.
Johari, who is also the Plantation and Commodities Minister, recommended that young people actively collaborate with volunteer organizations to better understand the needs and sentiments of the community. They are also encouraged to take an active role in addressing social issues within the community. By engaging in such activities, young people can gain a deeper insight into the challenges faced by the community and suggest more practical solutions. Johari was met after officiating the Reach Out Community Rakan Muda Ekspresi program organised by the Titiwangsa Youth Council in Kuala Lumpur on Saturday. At the event, TV3 reporter Juliana Sharin received the Titiwangsa Youth Icon Award. Fire destroys 3,000 electric bikes in Vietnam. This and more from the foreign front when Nightline returns.
EH958, runway 14 right.
Gentlemen, EH958, cabin crew, proceed to landing. Thank you for choosing Fly FM.
Hey, Mat. Kita dah lambat ni, Mat. Hey, you need to speak English now. Hey, bro, we're late, bro. Hey, it's okay, let's go.
It's Ian and Hanif on the Fly Breakfast.
Diving deep into the business world.
With expert insights and in-depth analysis.
The latest trends and developments shaping the country, region and the globe.
Key insights into finance.
On Money Matters.
Every Saturday at 5 p.m.
On TV3 and stream on Tonton.
Semua fan club dah sedia ke nak tengok artis kegemaran anda menang trofi ABPBH 36 secara langsung? Rebut tiket anda di www.tonton.com.my sebab tempat duduk sangatlah terhad. Tak sabarnya anugerah bintang popular berita harian 36. Untuk maklumat lanjut, layari www.tonton.com.my. ABPBH 36 eksklusif di TV3 dan boleh juga stream melalui Tonton. Teguh, kita bersama.
To the foreign front, a Hamas leader, his wife and their 2 daughters have been killed in a Zionist strike on Saturday as Zionist air raids continue against Hezbollah in the southern suburbs of Beirut. It was reported that Commander Saeed Atallah Ali and his family were killed in a Zionist bombardment of his house near the northern city of Tripoli. Explosions were also heard across Beirut's southern suburbs as residents were reportedly warned by Israel shortly before the attacks. The Zionist military also struck a mosque beside the hospital in South Lebanon, adding to a growing list of civilian infrastructure it has targeted in the country. The regime, however, did not immediately comment on the strikes. On another matter, the United States military has struck a number of cities in Yemen, including the capital Sana'a and the key port city of Hudaydah. According to a statement from the U.S. Central Command on Friday, the strikes hit at least 15 targets containing Houthi offensive military capabilities, and they were done to protect freedom of navigation and make international waters safer for the U.S. coalition and merchant vessels. Yemeni media said the Hudaydah strikes hit the airport and the Kathib area. It added that at least one strike hit Damar province, while air raids took place in Baida province, just southeast of Sana'a. Meanwhile, it was also reported that the United Kingdom also participated in the attacks. However, the UK Ministry of Defence has categorically denied any involvement in the strikes. In Taiwan, 2 people who went missing amid the destructive rains of Typhoon Krathon were found dead on Saturday, doubling the death toll from the storm that lashed the island earlier this week. The National Fire Agency said the 2 missing people were found dead in northern New Taipei City, bringing the typhoon's death toll to 4. Officials said heavy rains had triggered landslides in several districts of New Taipei and flooded streets, temporarily stranding dozens of students at their schools. Meanwhile, across the island, around 20,000 homes were still without power, mostly in the worst-hit southern seaport city of Kaohsiung, where the typhoon made landfall. Krathon has since dissipated into a tropical depression after slamming into the island, but not before bringing mudslides, flooding and record-strong gusts and injuring more than 700 people. Over in Vietnam, at least 3,000 electric bikes and motorbikes were destroyed after a massive fire erupted in a warehouse factory on Friday. The blaze erupted at about 7 a.m. local time in Lang Son City, sending thick smoke billowing from a warehouse and causing several explosions. In addition to the bikes, over 2,000 electric motorcycle components were also consumed by the flames. Local media said the fire reportedly began on the second floor of the parts warehouse and quickly spread to other floors and adjacent workshops. Authorities have mostly extinguished the fire and are currently investigating the cause. Second stage win for Maluselli. Actions from Le Tour de Langkawi right after this breather.
Hello, apa khabar? Tengok buat apa tu? Hey, dah ready ke untuk generasi showdown?
Gang Boomers dah lama ready. Alah, tanya Kak Jen why. We are ready when you are ready.
Cakap apa ni? Kita ni Gen Z tau. Mestilah kita orang terpaling ready. Dah lah, main nak buat live ni. Jumpa nanti.
Generasi Showdown, Gen yang real.
Siapa bintang paling popular ABPBH tahun ni?
Saksikan kami sebagai hos Anugerah Bintang Popular Berita Harian 36.
11 Oktober, Jumaat, 9 malam, eksklusif di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Teguh, kita bersama.
Setiap kelahiran, bukti kekuatan seorang ibu.
Memang saya banyak bersendirian. Dalam fasa pantang tu, hari-hari cakap dengan husband nak pergi kubur.
Bersalin normal atau caesar, mana pilihan yang terbaik?
Proses untuk kelahiran secara caesarean section ni, dia bermula daripada persediaan sebelum operasi itu sendirilah. Sama ada dia dirancang ataupun berlaku secara kecemasan.
Normal atau caesar, kami bawakan dalam Hello Doktor Ahad 5.30 petang di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Sports now, cycling, the 2024 Le Tour de Langkawi. JCL team Ukyo's Matteo Maluselli pointed to the sky as he clinched an emotional victory in the 7th stage on Saturday. The race, which started in Miri and ended in Bintulu, Sarawak, covered a total distance of 199.3 kilometers, featuring 3 sprint zones in Swai, Nyalau and Kidurong. In the longest stage of LTDL, the Italian pipped Tudor Pro Cycling's Arvid de Kleen to the line, winning in 4 hours, 18 minutes and 3 seconds, with de Kleen's lead-out man Michael Zillard completed the podium. Malaysia Pro Cycling's Muhammad Nur Aiman Rosli, on the other hand, emerged as the best Malaysian, finishing the race in 22nd place. Meanwhile, David Maxpole looks set to be crowned the LTDL champion this year, with 1 stage remaining as he retained the green jersey as overall leader with a time of 23 hours, 20 minutes and 6 seconds. The 8th and final stage on Sunday will be a 147.5-kilometer loop of Bintulu, with intermediate sprints at Kembatu 18 and Lasa Kanyalang twice. Moving on to tennis, the 2024 Shanghai Masters. Yannick Sinner showed why he is at the top of the world rankings as he raced into the 3rd round with a confident straight sets win over Tardo Daniel on Saturday. In the match, the world number 1 fired down 12 aces to clinch a dominant 6-1-6-4 win against the Japanese after just 1 hour and 17 minutes on court. Waiting for him in the round of 32 will be Argentinian Thomas Martin Echeverry. Earlier, Carlos Alcaraz Garcia followed up his China Open title with a commanding victory, beating local favorite Jun Chen-Shang 6-2, 6-2 in just 1 hour and 16 minutes. Up next, the world number 2 is set to face another Chinese player, Wu Yibing, for a place in the last 16. In another match, Jakub Mensik staged a massive upset as he clawed back from a set down to beat Andrei Rublev 6-7, 6-4, 6-3, setting up a meeting with Alexander Shevchenko in the 3rd round. Over 600 foreigners arrested in massive immigration bust. The details when we come back.
Kreatif dan berinovasi, wanita hebat terus memberi inspirasi.
For me kan, kalau you dream tu, you macam doa tau. That's why saya rasa macam kebanyakan impian, saya rasa macam tercapai.
Perjalanan I bukanlah fast track dekat dalam industri. Cabaran tu lebih kepada macam mana nak menjaga mental dan emosi masa kat dalam set lah.
Ini ialah hasilnya coklat kunafa bar kita. Selamat mencoba.
Nona di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Diving deep into the business world.
With expert insights and in-depth analysis.
The latest trends and developments shaping the country, region and the globe.
Key insights into finance.
On Money Matters.
Every Saturday at 5 p.m.
on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
Tak tahu nak tengok drama Korea dekat mana? Dekat Tontonlah korang. Ada pelbagai drama dan filem Korea yang best untuk anda. Muat turun aplikasi Tonton sekarang. Semua favorit anda ada di sini.
Welcome back. A total of 1,091 foreigners were screened with more than 600 detained for various immigration offences during a joint operation by the Selangor National Security Council, MKN, in Shah Alam on Saturday. The 2-hour raid targeted shop houses and business premises in Taman Sri Muda at Section 25. The operation, which began around noon, involved 455 officers from various agencies, including the Immigration Department, Police, National Registration Department, Malaysian Civil Defence Force and Shah Alam City Council. All those detained aged between 19 and 53 are from 9 countries, primarily from Africa, as well as Bangladesh, Nepal, Myanmar, Indonesia and India. Among the offences committed include not having identification documents, violating visa conditions and overstaying. Selangor Menteri Besar Datuk Seri Amiruddin Syari, who is also the state MKN chairman, said that the special operation was conducted to curb the influx of illegal foreign nationals in the locality.
Sebagaimana kita dapat maklumat-maklumat dan juga hasil-hasil dapatan dan siasatan terhadap lambakan serta kehadiran warga asing yang dikuatiri dan berpotensi melanggar kesalahan-kesalahan terutamanya di bawah Akta Immigration dan kesalahan-kesalahan lain.
The detainees were then taken to the Semenyih Immigration Detention Depot for further action and investigations. Time around. Before we leave you with visuals of the Miao Ethnic Embroidery Art Show, showcasing a lasting heritage that has been passed through generations in China. With that, I'm Nurin Razmyn. Thank you for watching and stay safe, Malaysia.